In northern China, July is usually the time when people prepare for the upcoming harvest. Vast stretches of green rice fields sway in the breeze. Bustling markets echo with laughter, and the sky, though hot, remains clear and peaceful. But on July 25th, 2025, that peace was violently torn apart. From early morning, the sky over Shanxi province began to change color. A cold wind slithered over the rooftops, carrying the scent of damp earth and heavy moisture. No one could have imagined that within just a few hours, they would lose everything. Their homes, their land, even their loved ones. In the city of Zhang, rain began to fall around midday. At first, it was just a light summer shower, seemingly harmless. But dark clouds quickly gathered, and thunder tore across the sky like a warning scream of the disaster to come. The rain poured down as if the sky had been punctured. In just 3 hours, the recorded rainfall had already exceeded the average for an entire month. Small streams swelled into raging torrents, and rocks and soil tumbled down the mountainsides. In the mountain villages, people were caught off guard. Vital roads connecting small towns to the city center were rapidly buried under landslides. Transportation came to a standstill. Communication networks were cut off. In the town of Ludian, the water rose during the night. While everyone was still asleep, the alarm sirens finally wailed. Late, but just in time. Families scrambled to climb onto rooftops or sprinted up the hills in total darkness. In just 10 minutes, the water had reached our doorstep, one resident recalled, their voice still trembling. My family didn't have time to grab anything except a flashlight. My daughter's only 7. I had to carry her on my back and run, while the water chased us like a mad beast. Thousands of acres of farmland have been submerged. Rice fields in bloom are now waterlogged, greenhouses flattened, and livestock swept away by murky floodwaters. For many farmers, these were the fruits of a lifetime's labor, now reduced to nothing but memories. In Pur, a mountainous city near the Laos border, once gentle rivers turned violent. Riverbanks burst, tearing through roads and dragging down even the sturdiest of bridges. Videos captured by locals show cars swept away like toys. People paddling boats down highways and cries echoing from homes stranded in isolation. Not everyone made it out in time. In many low-lying neighborhoods, floodwaters rose to chest level. The elderly, young children, and the sick couldn't move on their own. Rescue teams had to rely on rubber boats, ropes, and even drones to reach them. In Kuing, a densely populated, hilly city, the drainage system was completely overwhelmed. Streets turned into rivers, and public transportation came to a halt. In many apartment buildings, the ground floors were entirely underwater, forcing residents to break windows and climb onto rooftops to await rescue. Power was cut. Clean water ran out. All communication was lost. This was no longer just a natural disaster. It became a new reality, where people fought hour by hour just to survive. In the darkness of disaster, there was still light. Thousands of soldiers, police officers, volunteers, and local residents joined the rescue efforts. They put aside their homes and families to dig through debris, deliver supplies, and evacuate people from danger zones. Temporary bridges were built within hours. Emergency shelters sprang up in schoolyards, town halls, and even abandoned bus stations. Organizations like the Red Cross, charity groups, and rapid response medical teams rushed in with clean water, food, and medicine. They didn't ask who you were. As long as you were alive, they would save you. After the waters receded, the real pain began. Preliminary reports showed that thousands of homes were completely destroyed. More than 300 schools suffered severe damage. Hundreds of kilometers of roads had vanished. But what brought many to tears weren't just the collapsed buildings. It was the family photos, household records, diplomas, and ancestral portraits that were swept away forever. The hardest part isn't just rebuilding homes. It's rebuilding trust, hope, and the sense of safety that was shattered by the raging flood. This flood wasn't just an event. It's a wound that will take months, even years to heal. The survivors are living proof of resilience, but they need help. Communities, both at home and abroad, are calling for aid. No one is being left behind. Thank you for watching Wild Bane USA. If this story moved you, please share it, because sharing can also save lives. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and the notification bell so you won't miss the most accurate, human-centered, and timely reports. Remember, in the midst of the storm, humanity is still the light. One would think the historic flood on July 25th was the final blow to a tragic summer in China. But fate seemed unwilling to let go. Before the people could even begin to recover from their losses, just 5 days later, the skies turned violent once more. And this time it wasn't only floods, it was storms, earthquakes, and tsunamis crashing down all at once. A chain of unprecedented disasters, as if nature itself was determined to test the very limits of human endurance. In a chain of devastating natural disasters, China was struck not by one, but by two catastrophic blows on July 30th, 2025. What first seemed like just another tropical storm quickly escalated into a national emergency. Tropical Storm K slammed into China's southeastern coast with brutal force, just hours before a massive 8.8 magnitude earthquake shook off the coast of Russia's Kamchatka Peninsula, triggering regional tsunami warnings. Although it wasn't classified as a super typhoon, K struck with a force far beyond expectations. At 8:40 a.m., the port city of Johan in Jiang province took the full brunt of the storm. Winds howled at 83 kilometers per hour, driving a massive wall of water inland that swallowed urban infrastructure in an instant. More than 280,000 residents were forced to evacuate from vulnerable coastal areas, particularly around Shanghai in Jiang province. Emergency authorities had issued the highest level weather alerts beforehand, but the storm's rapid escalation and unpredictable behavior left many cities effectively under siege. In Ningbo, torrential rain poured down, turning streets into rivers. Cars were submerged, intersections swallowed by floodwaters. Rescue teams struggled in extremely dangerous conditions, using pumps and barriers to hold back the water, but many areas remained completely inaccessible for hours. Shanghai, though not taking the full brunt of the storm, was still thrown into chaos. The city of over 24 million people saw its entire ferry system shut down, while both Pudong and Hongqiao airports were nearly paralyzed. Within a single day, 640 flights were canceled, leaving thousands of passengers stranded, frustrated, and desperate. Major transportation arteries in Hangzhou, Wenzhou, and Ningbo were also crippled. Highways were restricted to speeds under 60 kilometers per hour, and trains were forced to slow down or stop altogether. In Shanglu District, hurricane-force winds toppled trees and damaged power lines, causing widespread blackouts. The entire city was paralyzed, businesses forced to close, and rescue teams pushed to their limits. "Oh my God, this is unbelievable." Those were the words that escaped the mouths of many residents as they witnessed an apocalyptic scene unfold before their eyes. Just minutes later, China's National Marine Forecasting Center issued an emergency tsunami alert. Waves up to 1 meter high could strike the coasts of Shanghai and Wuhan by evening. Unlike typhoons, which can be tracked and forecast, tsunamis offer almost no warning signs. They move silently as fast as an arrow, with devastating power. Authorities cautioned, a delay of just 1 minute could cost thousands of lives. K was never expected to become a disaster. It was just a tropical storm, nowhere near a super typhoon. Yet its unpredictability turned it into a silent killer. This storm was not just wind or rain, it was a chain reaction. When weather collides, human systems collapse. K started off calm, but then everything crashed down at once, a Shanghai emergency official admitted bitterly. The winds themselves weren't the most terrifying part. It was the cascading effects that proved catastrophic. Floods, paralyzed transportation, airports shut down, massive power outages, and above all, the looming specter of a tsunami. The city has turned into a living laboratory for humanity's disaster resilience. Emergency shelters have sprung up everywhere. Police block highways and issue real-time announcements. Rescue teams strain under the highest state of alert. But amid the chaos, an unbelievable scene unfolds. Shanghai Disneyland and Legoland remain open. Legoland has paused its rides but still admits visitors. Disneyland, meanwhile, declares that it has a strict weather monitoring system and continues operating. July 30th, 2025 will not be remembered for a super typhoon, but for a chain of overlapping crises spanning the sky, the ocean, and even the depths of the earth. K was not the strongest storm, but it was among the most chaotic and haunting in modern history. In Shanghai, more than 280,000 residents lost their homes, tens of thousands of tourists were stranded, and infrastructure collapsed. Although emergency agencies responded swiftly, experts warned, complacency is no longer an option. The intersection of climate instability and violent seismic activity has painted a grim picture. Urban resilience in the 21st century must be redefined. If today it's K, tomorrow it could be another disaster, even more devastating. The question is no longer if it will happen, but how prepared we are to face it.